Coming up next on Scale Auto Guys Workbench, an AMT kit that was reissued back in May of last year, 2024. We're going to start building this one, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Celebrating 75 years, AMT has reintroduced back in May of 2024 this 149 part kit of the 1964 Chevy Impala. Now this can be built several ways. It can be built stock, or it can be built custom, or it can be built as a race car. It's your choice. You can mix and match and do whatever you want. There's a breakdown of the back of the box. Let's take a look at what's inside, starting with the body. Now, at first glance, it looked pretty good, but I see that there's a little bit of flash here and there. Not bad considering the age of the mold that produced it. Looks pretty good. Now, something interesting that I found when I went through the parts trees and looked at it, there's a interesting twist with this kit too that's not listed in the direction sheet, but I'll discuss that in just a moment. We'll set the body over there. Here's your interior tub. It's kind of light in the door panel area. I mean, some of it's deep, but your armrests are almost non-existent. It does have the carpeting detail in the bottom. Built-in center console. Here's your chassis. It's all molded in suspension and exhaust system. There is some flash cleanup that needs to be done on it, on that edge, and the fender wells a little bit. Let's take a look at the parts trees. First one up is what I was talking about, something interesting. They don't discuss it in the direction sheet, but there's a boot cover for a convertible. They don't mention in the direction sheet that you can make this car into a convertible, so that's interesting. The steering wheel is at a peculiar angle because it was broken in the package. I tried to straighten it out, but no, it's not having it. So I may have to go with the custom steering wheel that's included in this. I'll have to take a look at that first. Here's your firewall, radiator, and some flash on it. Next up is your engine parts. I believe, I want to say that's a 409, but I could be wrong. They had a couple different sizes that had those style heads, and I haven't seen anything on the packaging where it indicates what size the engine is, but 409s were pretty popular back in that time frame. Here's a set of seats in your hood. It also has the molded in cutout for if you want to use the hood scoop that's depicted on the box art, which the hood scoop has fallen off the tree. That's the only loose part that was in the bag. On this one you got the roll cage, another custom steering wheel. There was a custom steering wheel on one of those trees there. I don't remember which one. Oh, it was the one with the engine. It's a half steering wheel. I'm not sure if I like that. I know I don't like this one. Seat belts. Last up on the white styrene is custom front seats. Like a lake pipe situation here, and custom front and rear, what would you call that? Header panels? Not really. I don't know what the name of that is. It escapes me. Now this did have two chrome trees. You have this one here with a set of wheels. They're not open. They're fully enclosed. They kind of remind me of Mustang. Would you find on like a GT Mustang? And they have spinners here that go on them. So those are kind of different. On the next chrome tree, you have your stock and custom grills. You have like Krager Super Sport type wheels, your stock hubcaps, all kinds of chrome engine parts. Not sure what that is. Oh, that's like mufflers. It's weird that they give you extra mufflers and then they mold them into the chassis. It's confusing. Okay, well anyway, there's that. Another interesting thing about this kit, and if you have a parts box, these will be interesting additions to the parts box. At least one of them anyway. You have a set of Goodyear pad printed hollow bias ply tread kind of tires. I don't know if you can focus. There we go. They're, like I said, these are hollow. Complete set. They're a little bit wider than like your stock tire. And speaking of stock tires, you have pad printed white wall tires. No name brand on them. Just regular old standard bias ply tires that are not focusing very well. They are white wall. And then a pair of Racemaster pad printed drag tires. So for the racing version, for the stock version, for the custom version. Just guessing. Or you can mix and match. Whatever you want to do. Next up is your decal sheet. It gives all your racing sponsorship decals. 3 different state license plates, and then a couple of custom ones that you'd put on the front. Your brand logos and some racing name call outs, I guess you would call it. Last up is the instruction sheet. Excuse me. Still battling that cold. I'm trying to get this going in the right direction here. Here we go. Shows you the stock version, the racing version, custom version. Read this before you begin. Let's flip it over. Let's take a look at the other side. Wow, shows you how to build the engine. Put all the stuff on the chassis. Your interior. The body. No mention of that convertible boot. So obviously this kit came in different, same car, same everything. They just put it in a different box and give you different options. And that boot was probably, excuse me, a leftover from one of those options. But it's nice that they included that in this, even though it's not part of the direction sheet and the purpose of this particular build. It's still nice to have the convertible boot so that if you wanted to, you could cut that roof off and put that convertible boot on there and make this a two-door convertible. The framework in this kind of suggests a convertible. I know they used to cross frame them there because, believe it or not, that roof gives the one-to-one car body a lot of stability, and if you take the roof off, well, you remove some of the stability, so they would build up the frame to make up for it. So that kind of suggests it. It's stock-ish, but it kind of suggests it. So theoretically, you could cut it on each side back here, very carefully up here, and turn this car into a convertible. I might go get another one just so I could have the two-door hardtop version and the convertible version. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Remember to remove these pieces here when you build this. Those aren't supposed to be there. That's just for giving the roof and body stability when it was in the mold. But this looks like it could have at one point in time been a screw bottom car, but those are the alignment pins so that you get the chassis in there right. I kind of like when they do this, so you can get the body, you know, your interior tub is going to fit right in the body. It's like it's supposed to. And I've had some where you had to fight to keep that interior tub in place while you were trying to put the body in there. Or, excuse me, put the chassis in the body. But, yeah, there it is. The 64 Chevy Impala by AMT. Obviously, we got some cleanup to do, sub-assemblies to do, and we're going to have to sit down and try to figure out, well, which version do I want to build? If you know me, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I kind of cross-mix a lot of different parts within the build. So if it gives me three options of a stock or a custom or a race version, I kind of mix and match the parts and build it my own way. I could build a stock-looking custom drag car sometimes. You know, I did that with the Pontiac GTO a little while ago. So let's get started on this one. We got a little bit of work to do, and stay tuned. Alright fellas, I jumped ahead a little bit and got some of the interior done. I went with a red, silver, and black interior. It's not quite finished yet. I still have to do the gear shifters and such, and I still have to address the remaining part of the dashboard. And I got the chassis all painted up, and it's ready to go. Got the engine and everything all set. I went to go ahead and finish up this interior tub, and I've looked and I've looked and I've looked, and I cannot find the steering wheel and the steering column. I do not know what I did with it. Normally I keep all this stuff together, but for some reason this one has just disappeared. So the only steering wheel that I can find in this kit that didn't go missing is this half steering wheel. This is part of the custom. I don't really like it, but that's the only steering wheel I have for this vehicle. I do not know where this other steering wheel went, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe I lost the entire parts tree along with it. Yeah, it's somewhere in this room, but I can't tell you where. I've looked everywhere. I've looked all around my paint booth. I've looked everywhere around where I'm sitting here. I have gone through that box 3 times. I've moved everything around. I've even cleaned off my desk, and I still cannot find that steering wheel. So it's either this one or nothing. There is another kit. I have something that it's not a steering wheel, but it could be put in as a steering wheel. Let me think on this for a minute. Let's get back to what we were doing, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, I'm back. After searching and searching and searching, I found it. I was working on another kit. I switch between kits while I'm waiting for things like paint to dry and whatever. And this accidentally got put in a box for another kit. After I tore the room apart and looking, maybe, thinking that I dropped it down behind something, I tore the room apart to look for it. And then I thought about it for a second after I had looked everywhere. And I said, well, maybe I put it in this other box. And I went through the other box, and sure enough, there it is. Now, this thing is slightly warped, as you can see. I don't know if I can straighten that out or not. It's kind of weird looking, and I'm afraid that if I try, I may end up making it worse. Is this loose? No, that's... each end is solidly connected. So I'm going to have to try to heat that up and reshape it. Alright, and then I got to get some paint on this, and then we can get on with the interior. Alright fellas, we're going to be putting the completed engine and the wheels and everything together. I went with the Krager Super Sports and the Goodyear white letter tires for this build. I'm thinking about going with a, let me get the engine over here, with a lower stance in the front. So I need to go with the upper hole here, if I can get the axle through it. Yeah, it's a little tight fit there. Now, got the hole in the engine block, so that means I'm going to have to install the engine and then put the axle through. So, let me pull that back just a little bit, yeah. So this engine's going to sit in here kind of sort of like this. It's not Well, I don't know what's going on with those exhaust manifold pipes there. That's why I don't like putting these things on before I set the engine in, and I did what I don't like doing, and now these stick out too far to clear the frame, so I'm going to have to take a little bit off of each one of those. Generally what I do is I will glue these in place, and while they're still kind of not set, I will put the engine in place, and I didn't do that this time. I don't know what I was thinking. I was tired when I put those on, so take a little bit off of each side. See if I got enough clearance. Like I said, generally I'll put them in. I'll put this all together when those are still pliable. That way, there, if there's any issues, there's still movement in there that will allow for that to go together. There we are. And there we go. So that goes in there just like that. And I'll put a spot of glue in there. Yeah, that's goofy. That's goofy the way they have those pipes come out like that. You'd think that there would be some kind of connection there, but there's not. Alright, let's get a little bit of glue on that. And we'll get the axles and tires and stuff put in there, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and there it is. That's the stance that I want. Slightly raked, a little bit higher in the back end, a little bit lower in the front end. The engine is glued in place. What I did is put a little dab of glue back here. I did clear just a little bit of the chrome off the front of the oil pan here and the paint on the cross member, and applied a little dab of glue right there, so it's all set in place. The axles, I think, are just a little bit too long, and that may become a problem when it's time to put the body on. I may have to remove the tires, trim off a little bit of the axle, and put them back on. They are down as tight as I can get them. I don't want to push it because I've had these break in the past where the axles push through and stab me in the finger pretty good. So, and I don't want to use my little hammer to beat on them because I'll definitely break them then. So I just will leave it as it is right now. When it comes time to fit the body onto the chassis, if that's a problem, I will remove them, take my Dremel, slice off about 1/8 of an inch of the axle, and put it all back together. But there it is, painted chassis and engine assembly done. I do have the interior painted now, and I got the decals in place. I have to assemble that and put it, set it aside and ready to go for the next step. So I decided to go with the custom seats instead of the stock seats, because I thought those would look a little bit better in there. I did do the dash, but the instrument decal that goes in there, one, it's kind of hard to get it in there because it's kind of recessed. But once you get it in place, it's fine. But what I underestimated was the length of that decal. And so after I put the decal in there, I had to go back through and touch up the paint around the decal. So it might not look quite right, but it's done. And then I used bare metal foil for this section down here. That's pretty easy to do. I've done it on several dashboards. And then I used the chrome gel pen to put that chrome line in there. As I told you before, I found the steering wheel in another kit box. I had 2 kits out here on the counter, and somehow this steering wheel ended up in that other kit box. So there it is. That's all set to go as well. And let's turn our attention now to the body. Still have to put some clear coat on it, and then we'll be on to getting everything finished up. So I'll be right back. Alright fellas, I got the seats and stuff installed. I had originally dotted these buttons with silver on the seats, but that came off when I was, as you can tell, I put a little bit of a clear coat on the seats, and that took off the silver. So I had to take my silver gel pen and reapply. So we just need to install the dash, and the interior is complete. I'm going to freshen up that line right there a little bit. These silver gel pens work pretty well, but they fade out pretty fast if you handle them a bunch. So just be aware of that. Since I had already applied that and it looked just as good as it does right now, but through handling and whatnot, that had kind of gone away. So I'm going to put just a smidge of glue on there and spread it around. And that should be plenty. Let's drop this down in place. And the interior is done. I wasn't real sure I wanted to go with this color scheme on the interior, with the red and black. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to go with all red or red and white. But I decided to go with the silver on the door panels to be the divider between the red and black, and I think that turned out pretty well. Oh, I got a shot of clear on the... I'm going to have to do the whole thing in... Either I have to put another coat of paint back there or put some clear on it. I didn't even see that until just now. Alright, well, I'll fix that. In the meantime, let's get over to the paint booth and get that final coat of clear shot on the body, and then we can start with final assemblies and maybe even some bare metal foil. I'll be right back. Alright fellas, guess what time it is? It's bare metal foil time. On this 64 Impala, there's a ton of it. So let's get started. Alright fellas, the bare metal foil is done. Take a look at that. And yeah, there was quite a bit of work in that. Not as much as other kits that I've done, but there was quite a bit in there. I'm going to take my chrome paint pen and do around the taillight enclosures here before I put the taillights in. That's too hard to do with foil, so I'm just going to highlight them, just the edges there with the paint pen, and call it good. Alright, we're on to the final assemblies. We got to do the glass yet, and the firewall, interior, etc., etc. Then we'll be on to the body and putting the front and rear bumpers on, and the grill, and etc., etc. So let's get started on that. Welcome to the final on this 1964 Chevrolet Impala Super Sport by AMT. Well, this kit went together with like 0 issues, and I didn't even have to fight the body to get it down over the interior tub or the chassis. There are 4 alignment pins, 2 in the front and 2 in the back, that help center the body, so there isn't any hassle getting it to drop into position. The body was straight and nearly perfect straight out of the box. There was very little flash. I didn't detect any mold lines. It was just almost perfect. The paint, well, it went on pretty much flawlessly. And I did do 3 clear coats, with one of them being a mica powder mixed coat, just to give it a little bit of a metallic look. I almost went with the sapphire blue metallic, but I decided to go with the red instead. The interior was almost going to be, straight black. But after looking at some images of full-size cars on through a Google search, I thought that the multicolored interior would look better. So I used Folk Art Cherry Cola Red for the interior, and that paint almost has more of a maroon tint to it than a red, but the contrast between the interior and exterior colors, well, they go together pretty well. As far as the metal axles, and I told you earlier in the video that I may have to trim those. Well, I ended up having to trim those about 1/8 of an inch on each axle to get the tires to fit up under the body. And I used my Dremel tool, and that made quick work of it. It took me like less than a minute to do both of those axles. If you don't have one of those Dremel tools, I would suggest that you could get one, because they are multi-use kind of tools, and they end up paying for themselves, trust me. You don't have to get a Dremel brand tool. This is not a Dremel brand tool, but it is a Dremel-like tool, if you will. And the little kit that I have that has cut-off wheels and sanding discs and stuff, I picked that up for like $5 over at Walmart, and it gives me enough cutting discs and other such things that I haven't had to buy any for quite a while. So, getting back to the car, when I did the engine, I wanted to use the chrome parts just to kind of dress up the engine, and I'll show you that in the stills at the end. I also, for me anyway, if there's Craig Super Sport mag wheels included in a kit, that's my default wheel. I will go to that almost every single time. Call it nostalgia, call it old-fashioned. I grew up in the era of the Craig Super Sport wheel and the Keystone Classic wheels, and those are like my 2 favorite from my teenage years. So you have to admit the Craig Super Sports, they go together well with this classic car, this iconic Chevy Impala. Well, here it is, another build is done. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not click that thumbs up button? And if you have any questions or comments, please write those in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to respond to you as soon as possible. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, or you can drop me a line at scaleautoguy@gmail.com. If you want more videos like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching Scale Auto Guy's Workbench, and I'll see you on the next build.